Hello everybody, this is part 3 of our circle flip through videos, and I have a lot today. There's a lot of level 3 dies. As of this recording, we have a lot of level 3 dies with circles, so this video probably will be a little bit longer than normal. I might get through them fairly fast, I don't know, but this is probably the biggest pile of pages I have ever done for a flip through so far because there were so many dies and so many good ideas. And pretty much I have them all in alphabetical order. So this first one is around and around, and this one shows a 3x4 size. As you can see, it makes this circle shape here, and then it has these 4 little circles. So here on the outer parts of around and around, I have photos of scenery, and each circle shows photos of an osprey nest that we could see from the vacation home we were staying at. So this is a really nice one. Around and around is one of those ones that a lot of people overlook. So go check it out if you haven't seen it yet on snapandcrop.com. This is a really easy one to use for level 3. This layout also uses the around and around dies, but here I added in the 4x5 size option. So on this one, I used similar flower photos in each space and then highlighted different buildings in Colonial Williamsburg. And here I was able to add a photo. I wanted this to be a journaling spot, so I used pattern paper instead to fill it in with some journaling strips. This is a layout made by Jody, and I love the colors of this one. This background paper is from our all-season grid paper collection, and she highlighted this circle with this red paper so you can really see that larger circle shape well, and I love how each little circle highlights something unique at the beach that they found. So this is, again, a really fun one. Around and around is a really easy die to use, and I love that shape it makes. All right, this is the bridge dies. It also creates this circle. I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorite circle dies. I just love that ring. I love how it creates contrast. So here you have your scenic photos, and then Jody took a close-up of some of these little flowers. I love it. I also love this idea. This is not... You can do this with any page, but this is actually a photo, and then she put alphabet dies on top. The photo alone looked very bland, so I suggested to her to add these on top, and I think it turned out really, really good. I love bridge. And here's another one with bridge. This one has pattern paper, and I filled it with journaling. So bridge is great if you're someone who likes to add journaling to your layouts. It makes it very easy for you, gives you that space. I added 1 word pretty much per, or maybe 2 words per space, but you could fill it in if you wanted to write smaller. You could fill in more words if you wanted to. But this is a very nice layout as well. Again, this part, it's a little tricky because you have to keep in mind you have this ring part here, but it is really nice for scenic photos. Just keep in mind that it'll cut part of it out. So if there was something important there you wanted to show, you got to be careful. All right, this is our charmed dies. I really love these dies. I mean, I think I love all these dies, actually. They all are so great. But this basically makes 3 circles that we call it an interlocking design. They kind of overlap. They kind of run through each other. So this is one of our interlocking circle designs, which we have multiple interlocking circle dies for level 3. So this is a pretty simple design. You can have your main subject here, and then these 2 photos are going to be split in half. So keep that in mind when you're picking a photo. And these other spaces were filled with pattern paper. I think this looks really nice. So this one here is a 2-page spread. So instead of the 2x4 charmed, this is called going in circles, but it is meant to match with the charmed 4x6 die here. So Jody made this layout, and it still has that 3 ring look. And then she used this same die cut over here in these spaces to highlight various things. I really like this page. I like that this part right here kind of makes a little frame for these photos. Like, I love that sheep and this lantern. It looks so good. I think that's what I love about this layout. And here too, even it highlights that house and it highlights this carriage. It's so good. And she filled these in with different photos in each little section. So the other one had the same photo in each little section. All right. This next one is called Clover, and this is one of those interlocking circle designs. So it technically makes 4 circles, and it does look like clover. And here you have space for kind of a bigger photo, and then we usually put some pattern paper or some kind of filler photo. So here I have a leaf photo, and then this was from the sidewalk or somewhere with, this was like a stone sidewalk or something like that. This was at Tampa Busch Gardens, but this is a really neat design. I love how intricate it gets right here. I've used these spaces for a little bit of journaling before. So Clover's a good one, and its companion is Lucky Charm. So it's not Clover 4x4, it is called Lucky Charm. And it also repeats that same design. It's just a smaller size. All right, this layout is Clover again, and it's a 2-page spread. I wanted to show you how you can use Lucky Charm to make a 2-page spread with Clover. So she has this, and I like how she has this wood paper, and she repeated that in kind of the same parts over here. And this one here uses 1 photo to fill in that section. Here she used different photos in each of those spaces, which makes sense. But here she actually filled it with a photo. It doesn't have any people in it. These are scenic photos here, so I think that was great of her to, I think that was a fun choice to fill in the 2x4 Clover dies. So again, Clover is a really fun one. So let me know during, or after you watch this video, let me know which of these pages was your favorite. There's a lot of circle dies, and I want to know which ones did you enjoy seeing, or maybe ones you've never seen before. Like, have you ever seen Lucky Charm? This is kind of one of our overlooked dies. We have a lot of dies, so this is one I think people forget about. But Jody used it 4 times on this layout, and she highlighted different flowers and plants. And here I liked how she added these gems. So it looks like this part's a flower. I think that's so pretty and kind of a clever way to highlight that section with Lucky Charm. All right, here is Corolla. Now, there's multiple Corolla dies, and there's 2 basic ways you can design your layout. So I'm showing the way that makes it look like this double circle, or I kind of call it the figure 8 design. So this one here has this particular 3x4 die. There's another 3x4 die that gives you a completely different look. But I wanted to bring in Corolla because it kind of makes a circle. It's not a full circle, obviously, but it's basically 2 circles, and then they get cut off in the center so you can fit in your focal point. So here's one, and the photos in here, they were a little bit bland. It was kind of springtime, but it was kind of before things start budding, you know, and the leaves aren't, it's not very green yet. And I added this fun pattern paper to add some color to the layout. Overall, it's really fun to highlight some photos of people or some sites you were seeing. This was in the museum at P Island. Jody made this one, so it's the same, you know, it's the same figure 8, but it's the other way. It's going the other way. And I really love this layout. What worked here was the photos. There's these pool photos, and she gets this really vibrant blue. So I love how this section is very blue, and she even put in a little bit of a blue mat here. So this is all tied together as this blue section. And then she filled in this other space with this yellow paper, and it helps that blue stand out a lot. So this is a really fun layout. This won't always work, but the pool photos worked for her benefit in this case. I think that's why this page stands out so much, because there's that big blue figure 8 section. It looks awesome. All right, now I'm going to show the Darling dies. These are also interlocking circles, except you get more of them than the other ones. This one you get, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On Darling, you get 8 circles, that kind of have an overlap look. And there are different ways you can fill in Darling. And I like how Jody used the Sunny die in the 2x2 here. This is our little level 1. That's really cute. So here she chose to use on these corner sections. You could put, there is a die that makes a full circle that you could fill here or here if you wanted to. But in this case, she showed the layering size. So she has the background, and we do have layering sizes if you want to layer your photos over the background. And then we have a die that'll cut just this section. We also have another die that'll help you fill in these spaces faster and easier. So this is a really nice one. I really like how she used this orange color and tied it in the middle here, so it feels very balanced. And then we have the solid paper, bluer paper here, and then there's this pattern paper. So it's a nice summary layout and gets you quite a bit of photos. This is also Darling. It's pretty much the same, a very similar design, except I did not use the matting size. I did not use the layering sizes for this. So these sections were completely filled in with photos. This one I did for these little spots use a pattern paper, and I really like it because it's like the flowers are flowing through the whole page. And I really like these sections for highlighting various things. Like I have these signs that were on the hike. So again, a really, really nice one. All right, this Darling layout is different. So even though you basically get the same design, again, you can fill it differently. So in the corners, I filled them completely with photos. I didn't use the matting size. But in these ones, instead of showing all these little parts, like here, you can see all these little areas. This one, I filled it in with the circle that comes with Darling to cover up those sections, and it's a great way to highlight different photos. In this case, I did mat them because I wanted a bit more of a separation between the photos on the edges and here. You could keep it all photo as well, but again, I just wanted to give it some extra space so there was more contrast. So I think this is why I like Darling. I think this layout looks really good with that circle in there. I think you guys will like. If you don't have Darling, I highly recommend it if you like circle dies. It looks really, really good. All right, this one is Daybreak, and I did bring it in because it does have this circle. And depending on how you fill the Daybreak die, you can certainly highlight that. I did that here. These all use the same photo going across here. And I have a striped pattern paper and another pattern paper to make it seem like a frame. And of course, Daybreak is a wonderful frame. If you're not someone who's doing level 3 yet, this is actually a good one to get you started. It's just the one die, and it'll give you practice for filling in these other little pieces here. So if you have not tried level 3, Daybreak is a great one to get started with. Here's another one with Daybreak. It has it on twice. So in this case, I put the same photo in each spot to fill in this little rectangular section. And the circle has this pattern paper, and then I have a different pattern paper here. I could have even extended it so this same pattern paper could go here, but I did not have enough paper to do that. So this is why Daybreak is fun, because you can fill it in different ways, and it can look different every time you use it. I love this layout. This one is from Jody. This photo looks so good. Isn't it perfect? She's holding a flower and she's standing in all those flowers. It is a great photograph. And again, here she highlighted the circle by placing the same photo here. She used solid paper for this section. And then there's a wood pattern paper to fill in the outer edges. But this is a really pretty layout. So pretty. I love that Daybreak circle here. Just love it. This is the dial die, and of course it is one big circle, and then you kind of get this mini circle here. So dial is a really fun one. I like that the spaces are a bit bigger. And on this layout, I decided to use these little spaces for photos that were taken further away. So there's different ways you can fill this in, but here I just wanted to fill in the little circles. So you get this like big section and this little section, and it does add interest. And then I like to fill the corners with pattern paper. I think it's a little bit too big for a 4x6 photo. So if you like pattern paper, these corner areas of dial will work really well to fit that in. So again, dial is a great one. You basically get 2 circles in the same design. Here's another one. Here I used the same pattern paper, and I even layered a couple of other dies. These are from the scallop circle die set. I showed that in the level 1 video. So you can always implement these level 1s in level 2 or level 3 pages. And here I have this pattern paper again as well, but I really like dial. It looks really nice, and I really like how this helped create contrast against the photos. This layout is from Jody, and on her dial layout right here, she filled it in with these same photos. So this is great for a landscape photo or a filler photo. Like she could have put something like this in there. And I really like the pattern paper she chose. It makes it bright and fun. I think the pattern paper really makes this page because it helps bring in these bright colors, because here the colors are pretty similar along with the background, but this really makes it pop. So if you're making the photo part here and you're feeling like it looks a little maybe like too much of the same color, maybe a little more bland, go pick a pattern paper kind of like this and it'll make the page pop a lot more. All right, this next die collection is called On the Dot. So it gives you these little circles. So again, you won't get the big circle with these, but it does give you these little circles and they're fun. This one was made by Jody, and of course, I love how she fit in the word relax. So she has a bunch of photos here. It kind of looks like a panorama up here. So she probably had different photos and then pieced it together to look almost like it was one big photo. So it looks really good. And then we have some pattern paper here that wasn't too busy for the letters. You want to make sure if you're going to add letters on pattern paper that the pattern paper is not so busy you can't hardly see the letters. So that's my tip for you today. So this is a really nice one. This is still on the dot, and you can see how I put it in a different type of page pattern, and the circles are right next to each other in this interesting way. Kind of looks like a clock, sort of, something like that, where they're spinning. It makes me think that they're spinning around the layout. And for this layout, I didn't use pattern paper, but I used photos of different things I found at this garden. So different flowers and different critters. And then on the half circle sections, I put in some pattern paper. And then here, instead of a photo, I used this really fun pattern paper. It has gardening tools. So this is a really nice one. Again, every time I look at this, I feel like the circles are spinning around. This layout was made by Tammy Potter. This one is really nice. So she just used the 4x4 and 1x4. So the 4x4 is here, and these are great for highlighting your main subjects. And then with the 1x4, she was able to fit in more circles for on the dot. And I really like how every single one is a different sign at Colonial Williamsburg. So on the dot is a great choice for a vacation, or if you go somewhere like a garden that I showed previously, where you have a lot of little things you want to highlight, because sometimes you don't want these photos to take up a whole 4x6 space on your page. A die like On the Dot is great for putting in these photos that you feel like you would never want to frame that or make it the highlight of your layout most of the time. So On the Dot is great for that kind of thing, is when you have these extra photos that you feel like don't ever really get to fit in a scrapbook page. On the Dot is great for that. All right, this is for those of you who like to see ideas with a combination of different dies. So here is On the Dot. This one's actually called On the Dot Bow. It does kind of make this half circle shape here and still leaves room for that same circle. And see here, if you watched our level 2 layout, or maybe you recognize this, this is our horizon dies. So Tammy did this one. Again, this is a fun idea for making that 2 circle look. I had one layout in the level 2 video, kind of showing a similar idea, but with different dies. So here's another one with horizon and then on the dot in the middle. This one looks great. All right, the pile is getting small. So this is our quarter pie die. If you've not seen the quarter pie or dial dies before, you can tell they're similar. I will say the dial die is easier to use because the spaces are a little bit bigger. So pie die to me is a little more challenging because you get this slice. And the thing to know about quarter pie is you need to be open to cropping your photos in a unique way. And of course, we were able to fit in some people, but they were kind of taken further away. But here you can see your hands with the shovel. And I really like this pie look there. It just makes that photo look more interesting than if I had just printed that a regular square or rectangle, I think. But quarter pie die, what's fun about it is there is this circle, and this layout, I was able to fit in some fun stickers. There's all these flower stickers and some snails, like some other bugs, and I put in the word spring. So this is one idea, and you can do this with the dial die as well. Here is our little mini pie die. This one's 2x2 in size, and I really love this one. It was made by Jody. She put in little pictures of different pumpkins from the pumpkin patch. So this is also great for a 2-page spread. So we'll have like the bigger pie, and then we'll use one of the smaller pies for the second layout. So this is just a cute little die. I love all those details, right? So this is perfect for showing little detail photos like that. And this is our small pie die. So it's 3x3. So just the slices are obviously a little bit bigger than the 2x2. And again, it's great for showing different details. Jody took these photos from this little garden, and I love how it highlights all these little things. I just think the slice look makes it look more interesting than maybe just a square or rectangle. Not that we don't want the squares and rectangles, because obviously they're great too, but this makes it a little more interesting. So again, pie die is actually called quarter pie. Is great if you love circles and you want something that's a little more intricate. All right, these are the spin-off dies. Spin-off can give you one big circle, but there still are 4 circles. So the nice thing about the spin-off dies is you can turn each die cut a different way to get a different design. So this is just one of the ways. So in this case, I'm still getting these 4 circles to highlight various photographs. So that's a nice one. And then here's the one design where you get the circle and then you get the 4 circles as well. So that's why I like spin-off. You get the circle within a circle design with this die. Again, if you don't want it to always be this look, you can turn the die cut different ways and you get various layout designs depending on which way you turn the spin-off die cuts. But I really love this one. Spin-off is great for highlighting at least 4 different photographs. And then here I use that space to fit in photos that were kind of taken from farther away. I'll bring this one back for a second. So this one, I highlighted my dog. I have a video with this where I show how to get this look. So this was one photo. And the reason why I was able to fit this all on a 4x6 photo was because I used the layering circle instead of the circle that fits here. So you can use a 4x6 photo here. And in this case, these two have the photo and then another separate photo on the outer parts. And these two are the same exact photo filling this whole thing. And again, I was able to get that by using the layering size that comes with the spin-off set. All right, this is the last die. This is Spiro. Spiro's a pretty exciting one. It obviously makes a circle design. It actually kind of makes like 3 circles. So you got your main circle, and then this circle, and then this circle. So this is a very simple way you can use Spiro. I'm going to show a couple of other ways, but it makes a really neat design. It's really fun to fill these in with different things. Tammy made this one, and she obviously filled it in with different pattern paper, but it also could be filled, like these sections could have been filled with a decorative photo instead. So this is a really fun idea. I love Spiro. And here's one that has an overlapping effect with the little 3x3 size. So Spiro comes with a 3x6 size. You can see that here, and a 3x3. And here Jody overlapped them to get this very interesting effect. But you can see she was able to fit 2 different circles on the layout, and she was able to do that because she could overlap those pieces. All right, so this is the most exciting Spiro layout. This is the one that we're all excited to do. This Spiro is one to get if you are looking for something a little more advanced. So if you're a beginner, I don't know if Spiro's necessarily the best level 3 to start with, but if you've been doing this for a while and you're looking for something a little more adventurous, I would definitely check out Spiro. But basically this was achieved by overlapping multiple die cuts. So pretty amazing. But here I was able to fit in 4 circles. So you still have this one and this outer one, and they all look like they are overlapped and intersecting each other. This is a really, really cool design. But this was also our last layout of the video. Let me know which one was your favorite in the comments below. I would love to know what you would like. Also, let me know what other flip through videos you would like to see. Like, is there a certain die you would like to see, or a certain grid paper collection, or a certain kind of idea? Let me know. All right, that is the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.